I'm just relentless. Yeah, I think that's how I always describe myself. I'm just so relentless. Like I've always known in the back of my mind that I would get there. It's just I've done a kind of a crazy route to get here in my own way, and I don't regret any of it.
Are you running a marathon? Oh my god, I could never run a marathon. You sure about that? My god, a marathon? That's like 42 kilometers, 26 miles. I don't understand those people.
That used to be me, but not anymore. Welcome to the Marathon Podcast. My name is Christian Warwick, aka Warwick Runs on YouTube, Instagram. I sometimes post on TikTok, and I just want to thank you all so much for being here. I've never had as many listeners on the podcast as I've had over the last week. A lot of it is thanks to Felicia, who was on. We had a video that went viral. I'm pretty sure it's about 300,000 views on Instagram right now. So that has really helped the podcast. So thousands and thousands of listeners every week, and not that many reviews on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Would really, really appreciate it if you just would head into the app, give the podcast a few reviews. Maybe you would like to give it a 5-star if you like the podcast. I would really appreciate that, and that would help me to kind of spread the podcast and show that this is a legit podcast, which it definitely is. This is episode 78, and we're having Calli Hauger-Thackery with us, a 221 UK marathon runner, a great person, a lot of energy in this conversation, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. She talks about how it was to have a quite legendary dad. She's going to talk more about that, and growing up with someone like that as a dad. I mean, I could relate to that, having a 2-time Olympian dad myself. And she talked about how her training is, how it is being based partly in the US in Flagstaff and then partly in the UK. And we just had a really good conversation, and I was very excited to hear about how her Nike partnership came to life. And so, yeah, stay tuned for this episode. I think you're going to learn a lot. Before we dive into that, I would like to give you a little bit of an update on a couple of things. First of all, the Marathon Podcast sponsorship has been so much fun. I announced that initiative a couple of weeks back, or a bit more than that, a month now. And I've handed out more than $15,000 in total to different runners all over the world. Not all of them have been announced yet, but all of them know that they have gotten the sponsorship. And so that is it for the 2025 marathon sponsorship. I really hope that I can keep on doing this in 2026. It all depends on how well the podcast is doing. As of right now, it's kind of been just money from my own filmmaking and just kind of investing into this podcast, but also investing in the runners. So I've had a lot of fun doing this, and it's been great to see some of these runners' reactions when I told them. I found that it was a great way to kind of announce it during a podcast chat, but there's also something pretty cool coming later in this week where I surprised the winner in a very different way. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. In 2026, I might also have to change the way I'm doing this. Right now, it's been more of me selecting it. It's been really hard to know who is actually financially supported by the running. Erica Kemp is a great human being. She said that she was well supported by Brooks Running, so she would rather see the money going to someone who needed it more. What an amazing human being she is. And that is exactly what the Marathon Podcast sponsorship is about. It's not about giving to those who are already full-time athletes and able to really sustain their lives through the running. And I might have messed up on that here and there, and I really want to look into doing it a bit differently next year. So might be some application system. We'll see. Hopefully I can do it again next year. I'm very excited to see where the Marathon's podcast sponsorship goes. Another thing is that the Marathon Podcast is now on YouTube. I have not had the episodes out there before, but now you can watch them if you're the kind of person who listens and watches the podcasts. So there's a new channel for that. It is so new that it might not even show up when you look it up. So you can head over to Warwick Runs, and then on the front page of that channel, there's a featured profile, which is the Marathon Podcast. You can click on that, and then you can follow the Marathon Podcast on YouTube. Other than that, I'm back to running a little bit more. I told you in the last episode that John and I kind of agreed that I would do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And that's what I've been doing, 10 minutes every day. Now up to almost 20. Today I did something that I don't know if it was a smart thing to do or not, but I ran harder for a couple of kilometers just to get my body working. That's kind of what I feel like it needs right now. And it might sound weird, but the thing is that I've checked everything. Lungs look good in the x-rays, and blood work is fine. Everything is fine. It's just that I feel like I have some phlegm in my lungs and going up. And so trying to kind of get rid of that by breathing a bit more. I'm sure if there are doctors here, they will say that that is a stupid thing to do. But we'll see how I'm going to approach this going forward. But John and I are trying to be smart about this. And then we'll see if I was smart about what I did this morning. Okay, so that is a quick update on my own running. I'm really excited to get back to it, and hopefully I can still go to Valencia and do that as a long run. And with that, I'm just gonna hand you guys over to the conversation that I had with Calli. I appreciate you guys being here, and enjoy the run, whatever you're doing when you are listening. Calli, welcome to the Marathon Podcast. How are you?
Hey, yeah, doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's always funny when we start these podcast episodes and I'm asking you how are you, and we already talk for a couple of minutes. But you know, we just need to seem polite to the listeners, so it seems like we.
I asked you though how you were, so I'm asking you now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to talk to you and excited to hear more about you and your running. And like I told you before, and I don't think I've told the listeners before, that I don't do that much research because I want this conversation to be as genuine and real as possible. So before we even start talking, why don't you present yourself and a little bit of your running journey?
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I can kind of like play this a little bit then. And if you don't know, I could be lying for all you know about a lot of this stuff, but no, I'll be genuine, I promise. But yeah, basically, I am an endurance athlete. I feel like the marathon definitely chose me. But I do love it. I'm not complaining at all. I never realized how much I would love the 26.2. We definitely have a love-hate relationship at times, but yeah, I started off, I guess, the university days were in New Mexico, altitude training, had an amazing team. We won nationals, cross country nationals in 2015. And then, yeah, afterwards, it was kind of like a crazy journey of finding myself and finding where I would. Yeah, I think after university in America, it's an amazing experience, but it's a crazy time after that because it's like, okay, what now? I would love to have a sponsor, but it's not always that easy and plain sailing. So yeah, it was a long journey to get a sponsor, and I think it took me to the right age of 30 to sign with Nike, which was a dream come true after a long, long time of like, yeah, trying to get here, I guess, and make it in this pro athlete world. But yeah, it's been a journey. I always thought I'd see myself making teams on the track in the 5K, and while that did happen, I did my debut marathon not too long ago, and that went way better than I expected. So that's why I say the marathon definitely chose me. I didn't know it was going to go the way it did, even though I've had several coaches tell me that I'm going to be a marathon runner one day. But I chose not to listen for a long time. But here we are now, and yeah, I'm loving it. It's obviously a crazy, crazy journey, but I'm really enjoying the roads and the track. I've done quite a mixture this year alone, so yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, and obviously, when I said I don't do that much research, I know quite a lot. I know that you did track in Tokyo, and you have a 2:21 marathon. It's very, very fast, and a 1:06:58 half. That is crazy fast, really good. And in some ways, your story kind of reminds me a little bit of Jess McLean and how she got to the marathon distance as well. And I'm curious, like when you said that the marathon distance kind of chose you, and when you finally decided to do that, was that something that was your own choice, or did you feel like you were kind of pushed into it and then you realized, oh, this is actually something I'm good at?
Yeah, I think because I'd done a few half marathons and they'd gone as well as they did. Like I just come off of world road running champs, and I came 7th in the half marathon. So I was like, okay, that's a pretty good result. And I kind of had the marathon in the back of my mind, ready to do. That year, I think it was a long time in the making, just because I've had so many people tell me that my biomechanics, family history, all of these things tell me I'm going to be a really good marathon runner. And I kind of just denied it and denied it. But at the same time, I was very curious because obviously, like, my dad's history and stuff, and he did so well. And everyone's always like, oh, that's where all the money is. And that's where everything. But none of that really interested me. But then you see it and you're like, oh, wow, like the grass is greener on the road scene, I guess. And it's been really fun. Like, it really has. It's been eye-opening for sure. Yeah, and I was just so fortunate that the debut went as well as it did, and then crazy that it made it for me to make the Olympic team. It's kind of always I always talk about it as bittersweet though, because it's like I had no experience going in and going from like a McCurdy micro marathon, which was super low key, and then going to the Paris Olympic Games was the most overwhelming thing I've ever done in my entire life. But it was, yeah, I've learned a lot from it, and it's still the marathon. It's one of those things, isn't it? You can be the most prepared you've ever been and the fittest you've ever been, but if there's a lot of luck involved as well with it. It's not all down to fitness. There's so much that can go wrong because it's 26.2 miles. So, and I think that's what I love about it though. Like, when it goes right, it's the most magical, amazing thing in the world. And yeah, when it comes crumbling down, it's heartbreaking. But like, I've like, I'm quite mature in this sport game now. Like, I've been around for a few years, so I'm like, okay, like, I feel like the DNFs or whatever, like, even though they're heartbreaking, I know there's another one around the corner. And that's the good thing about this running game, what we're in. It's like there's always another opportunity. And like, yes, it sucks and it's heartbreaking, but there's there's always another one around the corner what I can gear up for and get ready for. And it's not worth putting my body through hell to get to that finish line. And absolutely, like, yeah, ruin myself to do it. Just, I don't know, like, that's my take on the marathon anyway. But like, I know it all depends what you're going through, obviously. But there's been some heartbreaking ones and some great ones, and I'll continue. And I know there's going to be a mixture of both to come as well. But no, I'm loving it. It's a really, really cool thing that I get to do.
I love what you're saying there about taking care of your body in the marathon, because I think that in a lot of sports it's kind of looked down upon to quit or to not finish, to DNF. And I understand that. Like myself, I came from speed skating where it was just like, much shorter racing time. So DNF, a DNF there was kind of like, oh, you could have still finished. But with a marathon, if you're 5 miles in and you still have 21 miles left, it's probably just a very stupid decision to kind
Yeah.
of push through, like you said, and especially because there are more races to come. And I think that is a smart way of looking at it, and I think more people should listen to that. And I honestly understand, or obviously understand that if you've had a good marathon block and you want to finish, but if your legs or your body is telling you that, oh, this is not working at all, then it doesn't really make sense, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people will always have different views on it, but like I say, it's all circumstantial, isn't it? Like, for me, I was hurting way too early in the marathon game for me to know it wasn't fitness. It was something telling me that this is not right. It's not meant to be today. And I have to listen to my body. Like, if it's a few stomach cramps and I'm 20 miles in, I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to get to the line no matter what, no matter how ugly it is. But if it's happening on mile 6, 7, and I am hurting like hell and I'm getting sharp stabbing pains, that's not normal. Like, that's when I have to like be like, is this worth finishing today? Probably not. um, and I've never regretted the DNS. It's heartbreaking and it's horrendous, but I've never regretted it because it catapults me and it makes me hungry for the next one. And I think, yeah, I've shown time and time again you can come back, like, after heartbreak. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that just, it makes you a smart athlete rather than some like it's better to be smart than to be tough sometimes.
Yep.
So yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you saying that too. I think a lot of the listeners of the Marathon podcast can, myself included, we we can learn from that. If we were to, backtrack this and go back to when you first started running, when you were, I don't know how old you were, but and also like you were mentioning your dad, will you say something about, where it all started?
Yeah, it was just like honestly like a typical school sports day for me where it was like we got to run around the whole of the school premises and it was like a cross country course and I went off. And my school teacher was just like, what the hell? Like I beat everyone that day. And and there were so many little boys and they were heartbroken and I was like, and then my teacher was like, you need to start running like properly because you're really good at it. And that's when I went home to my mum and I told my mum that I need to join a club, that I was told to join a club. And my mum was like, I've been waiting for this day. Because my mum was a sprinter, my dad was a long distance athlete, and I was like the middle. And he said that like in a newspaper article, in all of our articles when I was born, it was like, baby, you were born to run. And it was saying like, maybe she'll be a middle distance superstar one day. And it's just ironic that, yeah, I did. I just started off as a middle distance athlete. And then, yeah, here we are now as I'm definitely more of a long distance athlete, but no, I still like to mix it up and it's fun. But yeah, that's how it started for me. Just a typical school sports day. Joined this club called Hampshire Harriers in Sheffield, where I am in the UK. And I just loved it. It was just fun. Like, I didn't take it too seriously. Even, even now, like, I love it. I genuinely love it. Like, I don't take myself too seriously. Like, and I think that's the key to like really seeing success. Like if you take it too seriously, like anything in life, like I just think it becomes more of a chore. And yeah, no, I genuinely absolutely love racing. I love the hard work. None of that scares me. And I think that's how it's always been for me, which is kind of cool.
I love hearing this. It's you, or at least I feel like whenever I talk to people who figured it out, that is what they're saying, right? Like, don't take it so seriously, just have fun, and then the results will come. And there are so many examples of that where you hear people been super serious or way too serious. And I'm sure for some people that will work, but for most of us, we will perform better when we are relaxed and we feel confident. And yeah, it's great to hear that you found that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it was 4 years of I didn't PD after New Mexico, after my time at university for 4 years. I was completely in limbo. I was definitely chasing times, chasing these big goals, and they weren't coming. I felt like training was going really well. I was training with the best in the world, but I was always like in the back of my mind, if I can keep up with some of these incredible athletes, what have made the Olympics and done all these amazing things, then why can't I? And I just chose to surround myself with greatness, and I thought, do you know what? Like success breeds success. So eventually I knew I was going to make it. It was just took a long time, but I got there. And yeah, and I definitely do feel like I found my formula. And I think that's what it comes down to. It took many different approaches and figuring it out, but I got there. And like it's a nice feeling when it finally comes together and you realize what your formula is. And yeah, I don't take that for granted now, and I think that's why I'm crazy on the racing because I've definitely been there where the races haven't come natural, and I have been in limbo for a while. And yeah, I don't know, to see the fruits of it now is just extra special, I guess.
It sounds like you're very persistent. That like whenever you face challenges, you just keep on going.
I'm just relentless. Yeah, I think that's how I always describe myself. I'm just so relentless. Like I've always known in the back of my mind that I would get there. It's just I've done a kind of a crazy route to get here in my own way, and I don't regret any of it. And it's been a lot of full-time work, doing all these different things to get to this point where I am now with a night contract and everything. But I've done everything, you name it. I've done every job. I've been with a few different coaches, a few teams, I navigated a lot of different things, but I'm here now, and I wouldn't change it for the world how it went down. And yeah, I think it makes you tougher in the long run, and it makes you realize fully, like, yeah, what ticks and what makes you tick.
And growing up with, parents who were athletes, I guess like you could say that that is a great benefit because you can get one is the genes, obviously, but you also have the knowledge and experience that they have. But it also could come with some pressure. So you have kind of both. How did you? How were you able to benefit from that? But how were you also able to kind of deal with maybe that pressure? I don't know if you felt the pressure, but yeah.
Yeah, my dad is very much so my mum and dad split when I was very young. So my dad kind of like I wouldn't even say like fully like was in the picture until I was like at least 18. I would say in my New Mexico days, that's when he really like was like, "Oh wow, like you're taking this thing seriously." And then we like really got talking about running more. My mum's always been the one what's took me to training, like the cold, rainy days, like ran me across the country for races, cross country, track, everything. She did that for many, many years. So yeah, and there was many days I didn't wanna go, and she was the one dragging me there. But yeah, no, I would say never put really pressure on me, but definitely wanted the best out of me. And would say things like, "Oh, well, Ailish McColgan's doing this, so you better be doing this." And I'm like, "Well, that's great, mum. Good for her." But like, I don't know. So she definitely like would put the pressure on me a little bit here and there, but at the same time, it got me to where I am because it started with her from the early days together. So, and my dad just kind of like, even though he was the one what was a professional athlete for many, many years, and he was like a world bronze medalist and things, and he did some really cool things in the sport, but he just kind of like is just like, don't take it too seriously. So I think that's where I get it from, where I'm very much more like him because I'm also like he also wants me to learn from his mistakes because he did definitely take it too seriously. And he trained like 3 times a day sometimes, like doing crazy sessions and just like, yeah, in that crazy dinosaur era where they were just like just running on fumes, basically. I don't even know how they did it. But yeah, so he's definitely like, just don't take it seriously. The key is in the recovery. Like, just yeah, I don't know. So it's kind of not like a breath of fresh air to have that and him not be too involved, but just enough for him to like get what this means and like what I'm doing is like, wow, like you're actually doing something really special. Like I actually did make the Olympic team, things like that, which he never got to do. And because of injuries and stuff. So he's like, "Look, you're on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. You and Nick have obviously figured it out. So just enjoy that now." So yeah, which is nice.
It sounds perfect, to be honest. Like, and I also think that's the best way to have it with a parent who has been an athlete, because it's so easy for that to become too much, right? Like if you're too invested and you have too much experience with the sport, it's easy that that takes over. And we obviously, like, also in track and field, you have examples of fathers being coaches, and it doesn't always end the best. So I think it's nice to hear that, that he had that kind of very laid back, relaxed relationship to it, and but he can still be happy for you and the results you have today.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even bless him. I don't even think he would know how to coach me now. Like it's changed so much since when he was doing it. I don't even think he would know what splits I would need to hit or anything. But which is I like that though. Like it's fine. Like I like that he's just like in the background.
Three workouts a day.
Yeah, like, he would honestly, it was like, "Well, this is what I did." Like
So you are from the UK. Did you move to the US for university, or did you go there earlier?
yeah, I moved for university, like an athletic scholarship. I was there for 4 years, and then I did get picked up by an agent who, basically saw me in this random race what I decided to do, like, after New Mexico in New York, and he was like, "Wow, like, that was a really good performance. Like, what are your plans now? Are you going back to the UK? And he was kind of like, basically, to cut story short, he was like, I'll sponsor your visa. Like, I think you've got a lot of potential. Like, he didn't have a sponsor for me, but he was like, I'll sort everything out so you can come and live here if you want to, and train with our group. And he had an amazing group of women. He had like Serena Burler, who was like 10th for the USA in the marathon, and then he had Gotti Tom, who's won several medals at world champs for for one was a gold, one was a silver. So like trying to keep up with people like that. But yeah, very much a marathon based group. And that's when he was like, "You're a marathon runner," like all yeah. But I was like, "I'm not yet. Maybe one day. I want to do the 5K." Yeah, so we kind of like had different visions, which was always going to be hard because he really wanted to push the marathon then and there. And I was like 24 years old. So I'm like, I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready for the marathon. Um, but I did enjoy the training. That's the thing though. Like, I didn't mind doing the training. Like, I enjoy the longer sessions. I enjoy long runs. But I also like to run fast. So yeah. It was just, but I did that for 1 year. And that was like army style training because we would get up at 4 in the morning. We would set off at 4:30 and the commute was an hour and a half. So we'd be at training for 6. And I'm like, if we're a full-time athlete, why are we getting up at the crack of dawn? Like, this is crazy behavior. And that's when it became a chore. Like I was talking earlier about, like, it shouldn't feel like a chore. I was like, okay, the love of it is like completely going from me right now. Like, this is becoming a chore and it shouldn't be. Like, it should be, I don't know, like, and that's when I realized that this probably isn't the right setup for me, but that's okay. And there was no regrets. Like, I had a good time. I learned a lot about myself. There's some amazing girls I trained with during that time. But yeah, that was just one of the little chapters that I had. And then that's when I moved back to the UK. So I was there 5 years in total.
And now you are right now you're in Flagstaff, and is that kind of your almost like your home now, or
Yeah,
what is your situation like?
I divide my time so it's like 50-50 US, UK. So typically in the summer I like to be in Europe because that's typically where all the races are. I try and make teams and stuff. So I go back to the UK, hopefully make the teams, and then do some of the races in Europe. And then I like to go to St. Moritz and stuff in the summer and do like camps there and things like that. So yeah, definitely like Europe in the summer, and then in the winter we come to Flagstaff, which is crazy because it can be pretty brutal here in Flagstaff. But we got really lucky last year. I think I only got snowed in once, but because of that, we think we're gonna have a really bad winter this year. But we'll see. I've got like the treadmill and everything set up in the house now, so I hope, like, if it comes to it, I will have to go on the treadmill if we get like stormed in. But no, I like to like split my time.
You are prepared for the winter.
Yeah, I'm prepared. I just don't love the winter, but at the same time, I can't complain because on the most part, it's still blue skies every single day here. In England, I'd be depressed because it goes dark at like 3, 4 p.m. It's grey every day. It's so great. At least here it's blue skies, even though it's deceiving. It's like it's manageable, and yeah, and it's good for base training over the winter. Like, you can tick over and get fit quite easily in Flagstaff. So
Yeah, and also I think, we talked about this before we started recording, the community, and I've had quite a lot of Flagstaff runners on the pod, and to hear that, you might be on different teams, but you're still able to go out for runs together as long as you can keep up, like you said, then you can just join anyone, and I think that is also great.
it makes a massive difference, especially in the winter. The winter grind is rough. Like, that's always the phase for me where it's like, just don't get injured, don't get ill, just survive. And then we get to go to the summer miles and it's fun and it's nice. And yeah, I'm just not a winter person, but everyone's different. And yeah, but no, that's what makes it for me. Like, having people to grind through it with and get through it with is just huge. And yeah, we're very lucky that we are spoiled for different people. A lot of people do come to Flagstaff, even in the winter. So yeah, we're very spoiled here.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. I have to go at some point.
You need to come, especially because you're coached by John Green. Like, you need to get out here.
Exactly. Someone commented, I think, was it on Strava or on my Instagram, and they're like, "I'll give it a year, and you'll be based in Flagstaff or
Yeah,
something."
so
S-
true.
yeah, we'll see. My fiance is from the US, so maybe we'll just head over. um, when I was going through your Instagram, one thing that hit me was that you are very open. Like I like the captions after your races and your experiences. And uh, is that something that like is that how you've always been very open about things, or are you conscious when you do that, like, or is that intentional, or is that just who you are?
Yeah, I'm very open to everyone and anyone. I'll talk about anything and everything. I just think it's important to be that way and be honest, even about the vulnerable things. Like, I don't just want to post the highlight reel. I want to post the realness of this sport. And I think people who are following, like, and like young people who are following, like, I want them to know it's not just sunshine and rainbows. Like, it's a lot of this and that's okay. And like, it's been a lot of that my whole life. And like, but I'm here now and I'm super grateful and I'm glad I've like ridden the storms and that's what truly makes you like the athlete you are today or the person you are today. And so yeah, I try and be really open about everything and yeah, anything and everything and just real life and not just yeah. And like whether that's illnesses, injuries, women stuff, like you name it, I will talk about it because I think it's important.
I admire that. I had Cole Gibbons on. I was talking to him yesterday, and I don't know if you know who he is from the UK. He did a 216 in London, and we were talking about how his dad thought he was maybe a bit too honest and open on social media about some of the things that he's been dealing with, and I was saying that I think it's so good when you have a voice or you have a platform, because it's so easy for all of us to feel alone about things that we're feeling or experiencing, and then seeing people like yourself being that open about it. And uh, I just read, with the Olympic Games and how your preparations were not the best because of family stuff. Then I think that a lot of people are like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one affected by life, because being an athlete is we're just human beings, right? And it's not just training.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think people look at us sometimes like we're superhuman, but we all have a story, we all have background noise. There's always things going on. That's just life. And like all of us have our own little things going on. We often just post the training and nutrition or whatever's going on, but there's so much more. You see like a tiny, tiny percent of our actual lives. So I just think it's important to like yeah, be open and raw and honest as much as possible because it's not I just think people will get so much more from that if I than rather than just me posting, "Yeah, training's going great, but guess what? I've not slept for the last few months and I'm holding on and I'm hanging on by a thread." But, like, I wanna keep it, like, obviously light and good, but then I also do wanna be open and honest, and there's definitely things, yeah, we have to really, like, think about what we post now and I do like obviously naturally like overthink some things and like, oh, is this gonna go down well? And also I don't post things because I don't want a pity party. I actually just but I also want to be open and honest about my journey as well. So yeah, it's a big thing, but I do think it's very, very important to be as honest as possible and like normally it's only like good feedback I get and people are going through similar things way more than you think. So I think even if it helps people along the way, that's always like always the hope. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I wanted to ask you about what you were saying about, not being able to sleep. Saw that for the Chicago block, you've been struggling with your sleep. And yeah, I just wanted to ask you about, like, when did that start, and how has that, obviously that is a challenge as a runner and an athlete, but how has that been?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's been it's been like crazy. Like I guess I've always been not the best sleepers, but this past year, I don't know, it's this sleep apnea thing I've been having. It's been crazy. Like there's been really, really bad episodes. I didn't even know anything about sleep apnea. But it was actually my uncle who was like, it runs in our family, you really should get tested for this. But basically I have like sleep paralysis episodes along with the sleep apnea. And I'm like paralyzed in my sleep. And I'm basically like holding my breath for the longest time. And I know I've been holding my breath because I'm like, the only way I can describe it is like when you've been underwater for way too long and then you come up and you take this massive gasp and then you cough in and you're like, what the hell has just happened? But I can't I'm like dreaming and I can't get out of the dream and I'm like fighting to even like move I'm like paralyzed into my bed. And then I finally like fight out of it and I'm coughing for like 40 minutes straight. I'm like coughing up and splurting and my ribs genuinely hurt because I've been holding my breath for so long. Don't know why I do it. I've still got to figure it all out. I've been to doctors. They laughed at me and they were like, "No, Calli, like you're way too athletic and slim. Like most people who have sleep apnea are like 3 times your size. You've got large necks." Da da da. And I'm like, well, one, I think you're wrong here because I've actually been really open about this on my social media before, and I've had several people who are similar size to me, but like exact same build to me, and they were like saying that they've been through it as well, and that they some of them were saying that they've been on a CPAP machine, and that's something you have to have for the rest of your life. So I kind of hope it's not 100% sleep apnea because that will be rough. Plus, I have the eye mask. I'll have the machine on. It's not going to be a good look, and it's just not ideal, is it? Like every night doing that, like.
A very bad roommate for world champs or the Olympics.
I'm like, by the way, I'm technically like Darth Vader. Like, I have this like big mask, eye mask, but don't mind me. Like, yeah, no, it's the worst. I've actually like ruined people's like nights before. It's so bad. It's so embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's horrible. Like Wayne, I once roomed with Wayne, who's one of the US record holder for the half marathon. And she was like, "Calli, you were snoring like really loud all night." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry." Like, I just have episodes where I do it randomly and I sound like this dying, like old man. Like, it's so horrible. So yeah, I have severe issues with my sleep. And then on top of that, I just get up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m and need to go to the bathroom and then I can't get back to sleep for the life of me. It's like I want to paint the town red. Like it's like I'm up, I'm ready to go, and it's 2 a.m. and it's been crazy. So not ideal. It's been going on for the last really bad for the last 6 to 8 months. But I thought I was dealing with it. But I guess, yeah, the last few weeks, especially when I get to high altitude, it's not great. And I've realized that it's just getting worse. So it's probably not the most ideal environment to be in. But also, I have hardly been in Flagstaff. I just was down in Phoenix because of that reason, just to try and like catch up on my sleep. But obviously, like the time differences and the schedule I gave myself this year, I didn't help myself. I think trying to get my body on several different time zones in the space of like a few weeks, like was crazy because I was in like St. Moritz and then it was Tokyo, then back to England, then we went to Berlin and then back to America. It was just like my body was like, what are you doing? So that's not helped. But yeah, hopefully we'll get it figured out.
Because I was gonna say it just sounds like you have crazy jet lag all the time, but sure it must be more than that.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, but all the time. And I'm like, I can't snap out. But yeah, we'll get there.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was at a training camp once, and one of our teammates, he told us in the morning that the other teammate of ours, the one that he was sharing rooms with, he had woken him up and he was shaking him, and then he was like, get your act together, and then he went back to bed. And the next morning, this guy didn't remember any of it. And so turns out that he does these things in his sleep.
Wow.
And then a few months later, I was sharing bed with him, and I was like, sure, it's probably gonna be fine. And then one night I woke up with him just sitting on like all four on top of me. Yeah. So I would rather have someone snoring or being very loud next to me than that.
That that's pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, all fours on top of you waking up to that, I can't even imagine. Did you recall that one?
I think maybe he woke up, and the funniest thing was that I'm pretty sure in the morning, like pretty early in the morning, he was like, Christian, can you please just don't tell anyone about this? Because obviously he was embarrassed. Uh, he probably hates that I'm bringing it up here, but he uh,
I love that you're bringing it up on your podcast right now. This is great. For all the viewers to listen to.
yeah. I'm not sure if he listens, so I guess now I'll know if he listens or not. But then he was asking me that, and I was like, oh no, I need to be a good friend, and I can't tell the other guys about this. But that was obviously all I wanted to do. I wanted to share this story with them, and so another friend of ours, he came out because we were sleeping out in the living room on like a bed in the living room, and then two of the other teammates they were in a bedroom, and then he came out in the morning, and I remember he was standing there maybe with like coffee in his hand, and he just looked at us, and he was like, did it happen again? And I was like, yes, it did. Because they heard it, because I was probably screaming, you know.
Oh my god. Well, thank you. You made me feel so much better about my own situation. I hope you sorts that
Good.
out though, because that's not ideal.
No, it's not. I mean, like, there's one person I can't wake up to with uh on their like on top of me. Actually, that's not true. Three: my cat, my dog, and my fiance. That's okay. But other than that,
Yeah, there's limits to this.
yes. Uh, okay, let's jump to more of your running and this like if we just finish this about the challenges of sleeping, how have you been able to train with this? Because that is kind of what I'm left with. One thing is that this is challenging, but you're also supposed to get a lot of miles in, and
Yeah. I think, yeah, honestly, I don't know how my body does it, genuinely. But it always seems to do it, except from obviously the 26.2, it didn't. But that's why I thought I had no reason to think that even though it'd been a really tough few weeks and a horrible cycle of sleep, my body would always do the workouts. Like, I think I didn't get through maybe one workout where I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was way tougher because of the sleep," and I genuinely broke down. I was like, there's sometimes where it gets that bad, like, I see things, I'm like, "This is not normal." Like, I saw this, like, rabbit cross the road, and Nick was like, "There's no rabbit well just crossed the road, I swear to you." And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm losing it. I'm literally losing it." So yeah, some days are really bad, but some reason my body just like I said, it just does it in training. So I'm like, it does the long ones, it does the big workouts. Like I was setting crazy workouts but just before Chicago, so I had no reason to think that I wasn't going to be able to like do the distance basically. So yeah, but then obviously 26.2 at the pace I was going to try and hit was yeah, it had other ideas. Which I kind of am like, yeah, okay, I can't, I kind of and I also had a big year of racing and traveling and all of the things. So I guess it was gonna come to a yeah, it was gonna crash at some point. And Chicago is when it happened, but at the same time, I look back and I'm like, yeah, but I did ask a lot of my body. So yeah, that's the thing with it. It's really weird. Like I can just like last week I did several good workouts and I'm like, it's kind of annoying though after a DNF, you're like, oh, for God's sake. You're like, fair enough if you like was crashing that hard and your workouts weren't going well, but everything's like the workouts are there, the fitness is there. It's just it's unpredictable. And that's what I've been talking to people about. It's just I don't want it to be unpredictable anymore. I want to know exactly like what my body can withstand. And with the lack of sleep, you just don't. Like you don't know whether it's gonna bonk or not. So yeah, it's been a tough one to navigate, but hopefully like I'll get the answers I need over the next few months. I feel like the winter period is just like genuinely just figuring things out. So I'm gonna really take like a step back after. I mean, I've got 2 more races and then I'm done for the year. But after that, and the fun ones, the no pressure ones. Like a lot of the races I've done this year have just been really high pressure races. So it's nice to just like finish off with some fun, like no pressure ones. But I am doing one more marathon to finish the year, but it's in Hawaii. So I feel like it excites me a
Sounds like
lot.
fun.
Exactly. It's been on my bucket list once for a while. And I'm like, well, I didn't get to do Chicago. As long as the sleep allows it and it doesn't get worse. Obviously, if it gets worse, then it won't happen. But all being well, my body can like, yeah, one last push basically over the next few weeks. And then I'll have, next year is going to be way more low key because we only really have Com Games, Europeans. I guess is the world road running champs, which I will love to do. I really enjoy those. But in terms of like our champs next year, they only really have the track for the Com Games and Europeans. They don't have any road like they did last year. They even had the half marathon of European champs last year, but they don't have that this year. And they don't have the marathon, so it's going to be more low key next year. So I can let my body like recover a little bit more, like not be on a million different time zones in several weeks. So I'm not too worried.
Sounds like a good idea to let your body kind of recover a little bit, maybe more so mentally. But you did mention Chicago, and I'm not going to ask you a lot about that, but I know that you didn't finish that. Will you say something about what happened? And I think this is useful for the listeners to kind of how you felt and why you made the decision to DNF.
Yeah, it was very, very similar, scarily similar to what happened in Paris. It was just my body. Like that's the thing, like the body and mind connection is real. And like as much as like my fitness was there, it was the like mind was just like, no, you are absolutely exhausted. You can't do this right now. And there was just like this disconnect. And it's just when you're exhausted, like your body just fights like anything else and it just some crazy things. And there's crazy like really like horrible signals. So yeah, I was just having like genuinely felt like a stress fracture or something happening, like down that's massive sharp pain down my femur, like in my hip, down my femur. And I was just like, oh my God, what the hell is this? And I was having to drag my feet. And this was like happening way too early. This was like, that's how I was like, this is not fitness. This is because like, this is happening on mile 7 or 8. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I have got a long way to go. Like, why is this happening right now? And yeah, and it's not like I like overreached. Like I was doing like like a little bit faster than my current PB pace. And I was gonna like the plan was just to build on that, and like that's how I've always like enjoyed like running the marathon. I just like to move through, and I banked on the speed just because I've done a lot of 10K work. So I'm like, I got the speed at the end, so let's just work through this. So I wasn't doing anything too crazy. But then all of a sudden, yeah, my body was just like, absolutely not. Like, this isn't happening today. And the sharp pain started. And I was like, Nick, like, I am in so much pain. And the pain was just getting worse and worse. Every step was like, I was just dragging my legs. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, it's way too, like, maybe if I'd had a few more miles left, I'd have tried to like get to the line. But no, it was way too much like risk. So I had to like call it. And yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrible. Do you not enjoy that obviously at all? It's heartbreaking. Didn't come out of my room for like 20 hours. I was so depressed, but like it's real. I don't like, yeah, I don't take those decisions lightly, but obviously like it was the right one. Like, yeah. So I just, and that's the crazy thing. Like, I was like, this time I said to Nick, I was like, I think I have got a stress fracture right now. Like, this is great. Like, this is 9 out of 10. This is horrible. Like, I can't physically, like, even walking on it afterwards. I was trying to like walk back and navigate my way back to the hotel, and I couldn't even walk properly. So I'm like, I've got a stress fracture. This is it. Like, this is my body's just said no. I'm exhausted and it's too much. And this is the result of it. But it was a phantom pain again, like, it's just my body, like, I think they were all just phantom pains because of the exhaustion, because the next day I was actually bloody fine, which is just annoying at that point. And I'm like, "Well, what the hell?" Like, I don't understand, and, like, yeah, and a few days later, I'm back to my normal training, and, like, training shows me like, it shows me that I'm fit, so it's like a battle that I'm really working with, so yeah.
But I think it's a good thing that you listen to your body, like we talked about before. But it must be very frustrating too, because like if it actually was a stress fracture, then at least you would be like, oh yeah, I made the right decision, all of that. But then after, I don't know if you felt that way, but I think I would have been like, oh, maybe I could have kept on running because today I'm fine. And those thoughts are probably also not the most fun to have.
The thing is though, like, I think it would have been if I'd have kept on going, but because I called it as early as I did, like, if I'd have tried to, like, be a hero and fight through for even a mile more, it probably would have been, like, genuine since I know my body well, like, I know, like, the difference between a bit of a strain and a pain what's, like, really, not like, it's just yeah, it's not something I'm willing to, like, risk, and it was just getting worse and worse, so I was like, I cannot do this today." So, like, I don't regret, like, I think, yeah, if I'd have gone on and tried to be a hero, I think I would have been, like I would have been heartbroken though, because if I'd have got a stress fracture, I would have been out for 8 weeks, like, I can't remember the last time I've had to do that, touch wood. So I yeah, and that would kill me, so I really I just love the running game so much, and I felt like I've caught this momentum now for a long time. I'm so proud of my body on the most part, like, it really 95% of the time, it does the job, so I cannot complain. Just that day, it told me no, and I have to be okay with that, and I'm more than okay with it now. I've moved on, and there's other opportunities around the corner. So, yeah.
So what did you do? You know, like now we're what is it, 2.5 weeks since Chicago?
Yeah.
And what did you do the first days and like or since then? Because you did say that you've had some good workouts, but if you were like partly worried about a stress fracture, then did you take it easy for a few days and have it checked out somehow, or what did you do?
I think I just knew it was, like, because I made the decision to call it when I did. Luckily, it wasn't anything, and it was just I just knew it was these phantom crazy pains because of the exhaustion. Um, and then I took, like, 2 days off. People must think I'm crazy, but yeah, I took 2 days off, which is, like, a lot for me. And yeah, because I didn't do that much, like, I think I got to 15.5 miles or something. So it was just, like, in the end, it was just pretty, like, decent long run, I guess. So I was, like, good to go, 2 days off fully, and the priority then was just sleep, and I didn't have a structure with my running. I just was, like, taking it day by day. I wasn't forcing anything at all, and that's when I went down sea level, sunshine. I was like, "I'm gonna, like, let my mind, like, really, like, we're just gonna, like, figure this out now. There's no forcing anything anymore." Like, I've got nowhere to be. I've got no races in sight. What are, like, the ones in sight that I've put on the calendar just to finish the year off are just fun ones. Like, I don't feel any pressure with them. So I'm like, "Okay," but it gets me out of the door and gets me excited, like, otherwise it's like, why am I doing this then? Like, it needs to make sense for me, and those races make sense for me. It's just one 10K in Florida and one marathon in Hawaii to finish off the year, and I didn't get to do the one in Chicago, so, but yeah, training was going great, and, I mean, it did help that I was, like I said, sunshine, sea level makes a massive difference, and I think the sun actually just helps me so much, like, genuinely, like, um, so yeah, I had some great workouts. Did one today actually. Went to Camp Verde, which is like a lot less. It's 4,000 feet. It's just only a little bit of altitude. And I did 4 mile tempo. I think I averaged 5:14. And then I did 6 800s, averaged about 2:29, and then finished up with a 5:02 mile. So I was like, okay, I'm doing all right. I can do, like, my body's fine. Even with the lack of sleep, I can still do this. But I think that reprieve and the sunshine sea level helps a lot. Um, so yeah, just taking it week by week at the minute, which there's no pressure now. Just I know I can actually, like, take in the year I've had and, like, and just finish the year out. Yeah.
It's really impressive to hear how well you know your own body, and I think that is something that a lot of people, especially people who are new to running or get into sports later in life, they can't really relate to or understand how athletes like yourself know their bodies so well. And that is also whether it's I had Julia Paternine on, and she was explaining threshold, and someone commented that they've never heard as good of an explanation because, we use science so much with heart rate and lactate and all of that, and Julia was just saying having this great way of explaining it, which I thought was great, but I think that also a lot of athletes don't necessarily know how to explain it. You just know how it's supposed to feel like. And then okay, now it feels like this, that is okay. Now it feels like this, that is not okay. And you're able to read the signs. The red flags are much more obvious. And I think it's really cool to hear how you very clearly know your body.
Yeah, I don't give my body enough credit. I think for me, the threshold thing is funny because I love that, and I love the idea of the double threshold. Only started doing those a few months ago, or about a year ago I started them, and yeah, never thought I'd do one, and now I love them. But I don't know what threshold is though. Like, I'll be honest, like I only know one level. I am all out, full throttle. That's all I know. That's all my body does. So it's like double threshold for me. Yeah, it can be dangerous. I just shouldn't do them much because I can't hold back. I have no chill, with no chill in training, and I admit that. Not necessarily proud of it. I just only know to work hard. So yeah, like double thresholds for me are not double thresholds for a lot of people and how they should be and how science tells us to do them. Um, yeah, but that's when
Well,
my
that's funny because that was going to be my next question, not necessarily about threshold specifically, but you know, going into marathons, you were saying you obviously come from 5Ks, shorter distances, and then you headed into your first marathon. And I'm curious to hear more about that first marathon as well. But what did your training look like, and was that very different from how you're training today?
Yeah, I would say not too different. I'm definitely not scared of mileage now. Before I was like my max mileage. I think my average week would be like a 95-mile week, and I'd be so happy with that. I'm like, wow, I did loads. Like that's so much. But my 95-mile weeks, like there's a lot of quality in there. Like there's a lot. Like I say, I go really hard in my sessions. I do a lot of low five pace and like that's what I enjoy. That's the zone I enjoy. And so obviously when I come to do the marathon, that's when 5:20 something is like, oh wow, this is jogging. Like this is what in a race, you're like, this feels so slow. It's awkward. Like I make it feel so awkward. So when I come to do the marathon zone, I'm like, wow. But the marathon zone now, like my PB is getting harder and harder. So I'm wanting to now average around 5:20, and yeah, it's just becoming that little bit more of like, oh shit, this is hard for a long time, to be fair. Like that's quite like a big ask. um so yeah, it's making 5:20 zone feel still really easy. And while that does in a lot of sessions, like especially coming from the 10K training. And that's why I thought Chicago, I'll be absolutely fine because it's how I typically train. I'm in very much that middle ground. Like I do a lot of 10K zone work. I do my big long runs, and I'm very much in the middle with my training. And anyway, that's how I would genuinely train for a marathon. So while that might look different to a lot of, like marathon runners, everyone's so different with what they need and want. Like some people like to go 130 miles and like less quality, but like they like the mileage. Whereas for me, that doesn't necessarily work. Like I don't really like, yeah, chase the big mileage. I'm more quality over quantity. But just because I like to run fast, I just enjoy that work, and that's all I know at this point. But yeah,
But would you based on what you're saying, it sounds like because well, if I was to define threshold for me, it would be like a session where I'm breathing a little bit more, but it still feels like I can still talk to you. Like I could have recorded a podcast episode, but it would have been a bit harder to talk, like that. Do you are those the kind of sessions that you have, or are they, when you say hard, go really hard? Is that much harder than that?
I don't I guess threshold I probably can talk, like, I can't like, there's been sessions where I've tempoed with Sarah Hall and Emily Durgan and stuff, and we can chat. Like, Sarah will be, like, saying a few things here and there, and I'll be, like, chatting back at her. So it's not like but I think the threshold zone, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't hit it all that much because I'm always working, I'm always trying to chase that little bit more. I think for me, like, I need to finish the workout being like, not on the floor, but like, yeah, okay, that was tough. Like, I gave it everything. And if I'm not, I'm like, did I even work out today? Like, it's really bad. But yeah, like I say, I just don't have any chill. And that's why I don't do double thresholds that much. And if I do have to like know that I have to come back a little bit. But the thing is, like, when I've done them, like I it's weird. Like, I can do like a really solid, let's say, tempo or mile reps in the morning and go way beyond what Nick set me. But then I can do like lots of many 400s in the evening, but still hit like 68s, like 67s and stuff. Like, even after that big morning, I almost feel better in the evening after it, which is really strange, especially with how much I sent it in the morning. I don't know if that's to do with like recovery, which is weird as well because I don't sleep much. So I'm like, if I could just get sleep like on my side, I know I can do some great things, and especially in the marathon. But it's just getting that like on my side, and yeah, I don't know how my body. Like Nick was always like, I don't know how your body does it with the lack of sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you have a superhuman body, to be honest, because like based on what you're saying, and especially with your sleep, like I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm obviously not a running coach, but I've been in sports for so long, and I think that if I heard someone like you and they didn't have the results you had, I would probably be like, I'm not sure if this is the smartest thing to do, especially with the lack of sleep. But sounds like it works for you, and that's the most important.
Yeah, I don't know. I just luckily that my recovery game on top of like despite the sleep, like, it is there, like, I'm just really lucky. I know I've had people being like, "What do you take? Like, what vitamins do you take?" And I was like, "I don't know, you standard magnesium, vitamin D, like, I don't know." Like, Nick and has them away just have a few of the basic ones, zinc, like, and just like, I just don't understand how you recover, like, day to day the way you do, and I'm like, "I don't know either." Like, it's just yeah, I'm very lucky, but I have been consistent now for a long time. Like, I've been going since the Paris block, like, way like, and I guess since, like, my debut happened, and so it's, like, 2 years of just consistency. I think my lowest mileage week in the last 2 years has been, like, 58 miles, like, and that's just because of, like, if I've hit like, an illness or something. It's just been consistent. But even before that, it's just I've been very, very lucky that I've not run into touch wood. It's mainly illnesses that I have when I have setbacks, and that's just something I've navigated. But other than that, like, I've been very consistent.
But with that lack of chill that you the way you define it, like, are you able to do easy runs at all? Like, are you?
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I definitely do easy runs. I'm not psycho on my easy runs. I will sometimes leave Nick, right? Like, I'm like, if I feel good, like, obviously I don't leave any prisoners. Like, I just go for it. But no, like, I would say it's very much like a range from like 640 to 740, and I'm okay with that. Like, depending on how I feel. Like, I will never chase an easy run. I just go off feel.
Cool.
Other than that, my workouts, yeah, are pretty quality, and then the long ones as well. But yeah.
Will you say something more about that first marathon that you did? Because you obviously mentioned that the marathon chose you, but how was that experience? And for the listeners, what was your time?
Yeah. Oh, it's just the best ever experience. Like, because we really were chilling for a while. And I think that's why to finish the way we did, like, it was just because I was told, like, when you hit the 80-mile mark, that's when it starts hurting. And that's when I started feeling like crazy fat, like, and, like, powerful. I think I nailed the nutrition as well. Like, Nick was like, just take what you can, like, not really done much practice, but I think just take the Morton 320 and the gel. It's there, like take one or the other if you can, or both, whatever. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he wants me to take both. So I take the full 320 and the gel every 5K. I am fueled up, and by the 18th mile, I'm like, I feel like it's down to the fueling, I think, because like I've never even practiced it really like properly at all, and like and Nick was like, you did what? It was like, that is crazy amounts of fuel, especially for like my size and stuff. And I was like, is it? I just thought that was normal, but yeah, I like had so much energy the last 6 miles of that thing, and it was just so nice to run like that. But we still felt like 2:28 pace, and then I somehow got down to like 2:22. So yeah, I ran 2:22:17, which put me second all time. So yeah, second all time Brit, but it was like drawing with Charlotte Purdue. So we're like, it was to the second, 2:22:17. But they go, because they don't go off like gun time. They go off, so like technically my time was 2:22:11. Well, I was like 8 rows behind because there's men in it. And so it put me to the joint second place with Charlotte Purdue, which is crazy though. Like I was like, what the hell? Like this was like just supposed to be a marathon to get my feet wet. And it basically qualified me for the Olympics. So yeah, it was crazy. Like it'll always be a massive fond memory, and I just wish they could all feel like that because I played the patient game in that one, and it was a really nice way to run it. Yeah.
That is crazy. I mean, when finishing back then, you must have. I mean, like, did you feel like your whole world was kind of just flipped, and the trajectory of everything that you thought about running for yourself changed?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I did. Especially because I was going to the Olympic Games for the marathon, and I was like, wow, like this is insane. Like, and I got the early selection, and I've never made an Olympic game, so I was like, what the hell has just happened? Like, and it felt so like genuinely when I finished, I was like, is that actually I've done 26.2? I had to check my watch, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's way over 26.2. I'm like, no way, because I just thought it was gonna feel way harder, and I'm like. I'm just yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate that Nick was pacing me that day, and he's no stranger to the marathon, and he was, like, making me chill, and, like, we were really conservative. I think if I'd like, gone all out in a world major or something, I'd have probably just been like, "Let's just go, let's full on send it," and I probably wouldn't have been as patient, so it might have been a very different result, who knows, but yeah, it did definitely change the whole trajectory. Now I'm very much more a road runner. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still glad I can like still test myself over the speedier stuff as well. I think that's fun to do, and I think that helps my marathon. Um, but yeah, it definitely massively changed everything, and me getting into like world majors and doing the things I've done since then has been yeah a whirlwind.
How would you compare? Because now your PR is 2:21, right? So the PR race compared to that race, which one do you think was the actual best performance? Because when they're so close to each other, then there could be factors playing into it where even though you did a 2:22, maybe that was a better race. I don't know what your thoughts are.
My 2:21 will be I don't think anything can top that because what I was mentally going through after DNFing at Paris, like a month and a half after that, and going through absolute heartbreak with like what I was going through, and then my mom like going through a cancer diagnosis, and there was so many things I was battling that at that time. Like mentally, I was in the worst place I've probably been for a long time. Like I felt like I was nearly a rock bottom. Because I also came back after DNF in Paris. My heart was broken. Came back. My house had been vandalized. There was so many things happening. I was like, can anything else happen right now? Like I'm looking at the sky and I am like, what do you want from me? Like I can't. And I'm like there trying to string weeks together just so I can give myself because I'd done so much work for the Paris blog that I'm like, that is not going to waste. I need to do another marathon. That's all what was on my mind. And that was my distraction. The running is my healthy, happy distraction. It's from everything else. Like even when there's so much outside noise, that's my safe space. So I just did enough to keep ticking over to get to Berlin. And to this day, yeah, me and Nick were like, how did you do that? Like, how? Like, I was, yeah, not in a mentally good spot at all. And then I ran 2:21. And so that's why I'm always like, if I can run 2:21 with all what I was going through, then surely, like, if I can do another one with, like, like if I can sort the sleep out and things like that, then yeah, the world's my oyster, I think. But it's just, there's obviously a lot of things that can happen. And that's just like the part of it, isn't it? It's like we're not superhuman. There's going to be background noise. There's going to be things we're dealing with. So yeah, I think that will always be like a massive proud moment, and he just taught me a lot about myself.
When you're saying this, it's very, very impressive. And my first thought was that, well, when you said you were looking out the sky, like, what do you want from me, kind of moment, and then you do that race. And I believe that there are more important things in life than running, but for you, it seems like at least you got that one. Like, okay, a lot of bad things happening over here, but I'm gonna give you give you this one. So at least that's a good thing.
Exactly. I feel like that felt like a blessing that day. I was like, when I crossed that finish, I've never felt a feeling like it. Like, it was like, oh my God, like I was so happy. Like, I was like, I've actually done this. This is crazy. Like, I to ask for a PB of myself when I was going through hell, like it's like battling all these different things. And yeah, it was just, and it just felt like, I don't know, especially after the Paris and stuff. And it's like, no, like you can fail, but you can come back, and you can come back stronger. Even if things hit you, like knock you down, you can get back up. And I think that was the main message what I got from that. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of shit on the way. But that's okay. Like, it's not always going to be, like I said, sunshine and rainbows. It's not, it's the whole journey. But I think that's what makes us us, and it's a story, isn't it? It's part of it. It's just, this is, yeah. Um, but yeah, hopefully a more smooth sailing one the next the next marathon I do. So we'll see.
Before we move on to the last part, can I ask, how are you doing now? Like,
Yeah.
bad year last year with that, but how are you now?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I am in a really good headspace now. Like, even with everything, like obviously coming off a DNF, yeah, it's been a journey, like navigating that. But I feel like because of what I've been through, I'm like, this is just a drop in the ocean. I can get through this, and like life goes on, and there's going to be other opportunities. And no, I do feel in a really good headspace. Just 'cause I'm so fortunate. I get to do this. Like, I feel so blessed that I get to do this. And what a cool thing to call your job. Like, I get to go on these cool podcasts and talk to people about my story. It's just fun. I'm so fortunate. I love it. Like, so yeah, thank you for asking. I do feel in a really good headspace at the moment, and just enjoying the crazy journey as we go. But yeah.
But but, but do you feel like, first of all, I'm happy to hear that you're doing better, and that is obviously the most important thing, much more important than any PRs or races. But are you the kind of athlete that is, able to channel those things that you've experienced before into, say, a race or into your training, to either as a motivation, but also kind of almost like your superpower when you are performing?
Yeah, I definitely channel it all and take it with me. I think I must have that day for sure. I think that's what it taught me. It's like it's almost annoying though, 'cause it's like I need like this crazy adrenaline or something to like perform well, because it's like, what the hell? Like, well, how was I able to perform well with that crazy negative adrenaline? Like, but I guess that's what takes over. Yeah, the adrenaline takes over, and if you want, but at the same time, it was my fitness. Like, fitness always wins. Like, if you're fit enough and you've put in block after block after block, like that's not going to go to waste. Like, you will reap that. Like, and I think and just knowing that, and if you fully believe that, like you'll you'll reap the rewards from that. And I think that's what it genuinely comes down to. Like, there's no shortcut. Like, it's all about what you've put in. And that's what I love about this running like thing. Like what you put in is what you get out. And I think like despite it all, like I've still trained my butt off to make sure I get the results. Like, so yeah, I just knew deep down like it's not going to go to waste no matter what is happening in the background. On the most part, like, um, I just feel like yeah, well, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, obviously there's going to be a few failures as well. But like, I don't know, um, yeah, you just have to channel the energy and like, and just and that's why I race a lot. Like I was saying to people, like I race so much because then, like for example, when it came to Boston, I'd already done several races. It was only in April, and I'd done so many. So I get to Boston Marathon, which is a big world major, and I am just so chilled out because I'm like, it's just another race. Like, yeah, it was one of my 8 races for the year, but in my head, I'm like, this is just another race. Like, let's bring it. Got on that start line chilled as anything, and I was ready to race. And yeah, I was very proud of that result, and I think that's yeah, and I think everyone's different in that, but like I think that's what helps me. I wouldn't recommend racing as much as I did this year at 21, but like it's been a very busy schedule with a lot of different races and navigating a lot of things, but it's yeah, I don't know. No regrets.
I should probably listen to your advice, but I'm now planning Valencia in December, Tokyo in March, Boston in April, and Sydney in August. So it sounds like I'm gonna have your 25 in 26.
I love that. That's a lot of marathons in a short space
It,
of time.
yeah, well, I'm not gonna race all of them. I was talking to John about that the other day. That both Valencia will definitely just be a long run. It might not even be a hard long run. It's just yeah, just to do it. The plan was to do it a bit harder, but Boston is my main goal, and then so Tokyo will be a progressive like or a harder long run. Hopefully, I can still run a decent time, but not racing it completely. And then Boston is the main goal. And then I was told like I got the message or the email from Sydney this morning that I got in, and my fiance and I are doing like a 3 week trip there, so that would be fun.
Amazing. I think that's the cool thing about it. Like we get to travel and see so many things while we get to do this crazy thing. But no, like I think they're the best ones where you say, "Oh yeah, it's a training run." So we coach as well, and one of our athletes just did the Frankfurt Marathon. And he was like, "Yeah, guys, this I'm doing Valencia. This is just a training run. I'm just pacing my friend for 2:59." We're like, "Brilliant. Okay, we're down. Like, great idea." Like, and that's what he really wanted to do. He went and PB'd and ran 2:42, and we're like, "Oh my
Wow.
god!" Like, we look at the result expecting like 2:59, and we look the next morning, we're like, you ran a PB. That's not chilling. And he's like, yeah, so it kind of didn't happen. I was feeling really good. So he basically left his friends. I was like, I'm feeling good today. You guys work this out. Um each to their own, But no, I love that. I was like, no, we were
That's
actually
great.
super happy for him. And I'm like, but chill out because Valencia is coming around the corner. Like but maybe take that, like, kind of method into every race, because if that leads to a PB.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I doubt that will happen for me. I've had six weeks out now because of COVID. So if I do something good in Valencia, I'm gonna be very very impressed with my body. That's to say the least. But yeah, no, it's
Even the COVID, like, I've heard so many cases the last few weeks. I'm like, "Why is this still haunting us? Like, why is this still a thing?" Like, after Berlin,
yeah.
everyone we were getting messages left, right, and center being like, "Guys, if you got COVID," so many people in Berlin for the marathon had COVID. So yeah, it's knocking people still. That's rough. I hope you're all right.
Yeah, I've never had, like the good thing is that it hasn't been really really bad. It's just that it doesn't really go away, and now I think that it's more of a sinus infection, so it's kind of hard to tell if I don't think it's long COVID or anything like that. I think it's more that it's still in the system because it doesn't leave and I have the sinus infection now. I'm on antibiotics, and it seems to be going away. It's getting better by the day, so that is good. But I've
Yeah.
never had this for that long. Going on 6 weeks, and I came. It was like I had my marathon 2 weeks before getting sick. And so I was just felt really good. I was best running shape of my life and just ready to start building for Valencia. And then, yeah, then I started working with John. And then all we had to do was kind of like, I had to message him, not this week either, not this week either. So that's too bad.
It's sometimes how it goes though. I think the worst thing is when it gets to your chest. That's when it's like dangerous for running. That's when I have to be like, okay,
Yeah. And that's,
chest and
that's where it's been. I've had a lot of phlegm in my chest, so that is where I had to be careful. If it was just here, I don't think I would have cared as much, because then I would be like, okay, that's probably running could potentially just help a little bit. But it's been in my chest, and then I had to be a bit more careful because the chest is it's imperative to running.
oh, so imperative, and you can like really like ruin some things down. You just, not to scare you, but yeah,
No, no, but
I had
you're
gone
right.
for like 3 months. I would say it like lingered for 6 months, but I had it really bad for 3 months. And because I just chose to train through, even though it was in my chest, and while I wasn't doing anything too crazy, it just wasn't clearing. It wasn't able to clear up. Um, so I would always like recommend now to tell our athletes like, no, if it's in the chest, leave it, recover, rest up. It's not worth it. Like, but
Exactly.
live and we learn.
No, we should be careful. I've tried to be smart about it, and I think I have been, and uh, I'm very happy about the last few days. It's been getting much better, so
Right,
that's nice.
that's really good. Yeah.
One of my last questions for you is, you've been referring to Nick throughout the conversation. I don't know if we established in the beginning who he is, because obviously it's helping you or he's coaching you, but you guys are also married, right?
Yeah, yeah, our 2-year wedding anniversary is coming up soon. So we were together 1 year and then we got married on a like 1 year anniversary. So we're only together 1 year and then we got married. We like eloped
Wow.
to Vegas. It was the best. It wasn't on the strip, it was in this beautiful place called Henderson. And my friend lives there, so she was like, she did great. So we kind of like made it happen. We like just invited like 40 people. So well, I gave them like 2 months. I was like, guys, we're getting married and it's coming up. Like, get ready. Either make it or you don't. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. We met in Flagstaff. It's on a long run. Classic. And then yeah, the rest is history. So, but yeah, he's been coaching me for like 2 years, not over 2 years. So yeah, he coached me to the Olympics and everything, and yeah, it's been an absolute whirlwind. But I think it makes sense because like he knows me better than anyone at this point. He sees it in real time, sees what's happening with the sleep, like he knows everything. So he knows when to pull me back and when to like push me and stuff. And yeah, he's a really good, like, he's meant to be a coach, like, I think he prefers that over his running, but I'm like, "No, you're not, you're doing your running, like, you still so young in this, like, like, you can always coach, but you gotta give your running a go as well." It's a matter of time before he breaks through, I think, as well, so, yeah.
Awesome. So you obviously said something about it now that it works very well, but I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're married and you have a coaching athlete relationship." Has that at any point been difficult for you guys?
I get this question a lot, but no, we're both really chill. Like, I think if we're like honestly, like, I don't know, we both can't be more like laid back about it, or like we understand. He knows that it's like he knows I know my body so well as well at this point, and I've been through so many different environments, like the New Mexico environment to Australia days, and like all of these things. Like he knows that he's seen it. Like he saw the Australia days for a bit, like in terms of like being coached by like Nick's training and what that was, and he knows that that works for me as well, like, and he kind of like take that approach a little bit and then we make it ours, and he's very collaborative, so he's never we like talk about it a lot, and we've never had any issues. I think it's just really like it's just, yeah, we both are on the same page with it, which is great. And he's got no ego. Like it's just a breath of fresh air having a coach with no ego. And he's just, yeah, like he loves this thing as well as much as I do. He gets it. So no, it just makes sense.
Sounds great. Did you refer to Australia days?
Yeah,
Is that
so
what you said?
the Melbourne Track Club for 3 years. So after the crazy time that one year I had, I did go back for like 2 years, did full time work, like 60-hour weeks, working with kids. And then I like was like, okay, cool, this is great. It's bought me a house in the UK, brilliant. But like now what? Like I've lived this life and I don't think this is it for me. So I just randomly like went to Australia and yeah, I actually got stuck there. So I was gonna only go for 5 months for just a stint, but I got stuck there during COVID. So COVID happened while I was out there and yeah, I did 3 years with Nick Bordeaux and it was just the team. It's incredible. Like I had Jen Lacaze, Sinead Diver, obviously Charlotte Purdue's still coached by him, and just these amazing marathoners, marathon runners. So I guess I was destined to be. Jen was technically a steeple chaser at the time, but I was training with her quite a bit. Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was a really cool time. It was very similar to what I had in New Mexico, and I think that's what I was searching for again, just with the team environment and having world class athletes around you is just you're gonna like success breeds success. So, and I think that's how the breakthrough started to happen for me. It was after the Australian days for sure.
You know, after our chat here, one of the things that I'm left with is that you've been able to experience so much and like have so many different experiences throughout your career already, and I think that is a big strength too, to be able to, one, we talked about it, how you know your body, but also you know what environments will work for you, how the schedule or like the train, everything around the training, and maybe also like personal life and stuff. It's you've been able to experience maybe more than a lot of athletes will have throughout their careers.
Yeah, I always say I never took the conventional route. I just kind of like I don't know. I think that that's the cool thing about running. We all we need is our shoes, a watch. We can do it anywhere. Like, and there's so many groups all around the world. Like, you can go wherever and probably make it work if you really want. Like, and I think just get to a point where I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this has been great, but I'm a bit fed up now. The grass, it's almost like the grass is always greener, but it was a great time and I have no regrets with any of it. There was obviously some like, yeah, some of them were more challenging than others. Some of the paths weren't probably ideal for in terms of like getting the best out of myself during that time. But Australia definitely was, and New Mexico definitely was. I learned so much and about what I need and who I am as an athlete, and then that then went on to the other parts and the next phases of this crazy journey. But no, like yeah, it's been colourful. And no, I took a lot from every experience, and yeah, and now we're in the Flagstaff era and the European era. We're just going with it. We're just going with it. But I think that's it. I think I've always been like that. I like never fully feel settled. Like I'm always just like a bit here, there, and everywhere. But I tick that way. Like it might not work for everyone. I think some people just have to be settled in one place and know their know their week, month, like year and how that's gonna go. I don't, and it could change all the time. And that's okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I love that. Y- I have two more questions for you before we end the conversation, and one is you touched on it in the beginning. You're sponsored by Nike, and in my head, I'm like, if I ever got that phone call or email or however you were told, I would have been, dancing everywhere. Can you share that moment when you learned that you got a sponsor deal with Nike?
Yeah, it was insane. Oh my god, but it was also it was the hardest, craziest time of my life as well, like, because it was between 2 brands, but Nike was so I reached out myself. I didn't at the at the time, I chose not I'd been let down by agents, so I was like, "I'm doing this myself. I've had some breakthrough performances. Now is the time. It's now or never," kind of thing. I'm like, "I'm doing it." So I'm not going through a middleman. I'm finding out. So I messaged like these top athletes, like let's say Eilish McColgan, like all these people. I'm like, what's the main guy? Like, what's the main, who's the brand person? Who do I need to reach out to? Help me, help a girl out. So I find out all the names I need to know for several brands. I think 3 of them came back to me. 2 of them were very serious. Like first, I think I can say this, but On basically were the first ones to like properly come out and were like, we want to sponsor you, yeah. We want to take a chance on you. And then Nike came back like as I was about to put pen to paper, and I get this call, and Nike are like, yeah, we can better that. Like we really want to sign you. We think you've got like obviously we like spoke about my vision and everything. I couldn't believe how much of a breath of fresh air I'm having with this big top dog at Nike. And it went on for an hour and a half. Cared so much about my vision and everything. And I was just like, wow, oh shit. Like I'm in a predicament. And I was like, well, if you really are serious about signing me, like I do need this contract like ASAP, because I've already like I'm nearly committing to someone, and this is really like hard right now. Like it's a massive decision. But technically I'd not put pen to paper, so there was no, but yeah, it was a crazy, crazy time. I'm like reading everyone. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like this is On versus Nike, and like it's this new upcoming brand, and like I'm sure they're gonna be absolutely phenomenal. Like I have been wearing their shoes for a bit. Like think I could get on board with them. But this is Nike. Like, and also it also like wasn't just because it was Nike, it was more like the whole story for me. Like my dad was sponsored by Nike for so many years, and he only said good things about his time with them. So I'm like, shit, this is like this is gonna be tough. So yeah, and the contracts was so polar opposite. Like On was basically like low contract, but like big. So like I don't know. Basically, every contract's different. But one's like low salary, but back yourself on the bonuses. You can make a fortune on bonuses. Whereas Nike was more like a safer option. So I'm like, do I go for like the safe option, or do I go for the one where I could like really make something in this if I back myself in? But this is backing myself on a distance I've never done before. So I've not even done the marathon at this point. So I'm like, shit, like if I could have a crystal ball right now. But yeah, I obviously like ended up signing with Nike. No regrets. It's like been the best thing ever. Yeah, I do. I'm very, very fortunate, and it's just so it's like genuinely a dream come true every day. But um, was a mental decision, because obviously, like looking at my marathon and what I did and what I went to do, like yeah, it was just polar opposite. But in the end, Nike came through, and like they really supported me on everything. So there's absolutely been, but that's just the contract world and just how it can go. And obviously, every contract's so different, but it is mental to say like I've had nothing my whole life, and then go from this crazy predicament, being like, what do I do? Yeah.
That's an amazing story. I was not expecting that when I asked that question, but that is so cool. It's kind of like, I will never be a sponsored athlete, but now as this podcast is growing, that is, then you start thinking more about those deals that you can make with companies, and then I all of a sudden find myself in that situation of dreaming about that again. And the way you're talking about this kind of makes me like, oh, maybe there is a chance, that you can get something. So it's cool, even if I'm not an athlete, to hear this, and I'm inspired by it. And I also have to compliment Nike on the Vomero Premium, because it's easy for things to be a hype, and I got them as soon as I could here in Europe, and honestly, I'm so impressed. They're so good. Yeah.
The premium are a crazy shoe. The stack height is insane to me. I'm like, wow. Like I go from a 5'3" girl to like a 5'7" girl. Like it's just crazy. Like genuinely, like they are a crazy stack height, but I think they're brilliant when you've got tight legs. Like if you've had a massive week and you want to put those on, it almost feels like you're cheating a bit, but I'm not complaining. Like, I wouldn't wanna get used to them all the time for every run, because then you go to put on your normal shoes and it's not. But when your legs are tired, it's the best thing ever. Like, yeah, love them.
Yeah, I think they're the perfect shoe for me right now that I've been, out of the game for a bit and I'm starting slowly to get back. And then it's perfect to just run with them because then it's not that hard on my knees and legs to just get back into running.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's perfect. Like when I'm tired, like yeah, sometimes I'll have them on for a whole week if I need, because it's just if you have those weeks where you need that extra little bit to get you through whatever you need. I do think they're brilliant, but my trusty baby flies get me through in the workouts and the racing and the marathon.
I'm very excited about them, but I'm also happy that you're saying what you're saying because today on my run this morning I was like, maybe I can actually just sell all of my other shoes and just wear these because they're so good. But but I guess you're right. I should probably combine them with some of the other Vomeros.
Yeah, I think it's good just to have a mixture, like, of different kind of shoes for different, like, terrains and different days, for sure, but I know what you mean. I could definitely get used to them, but I probably shouldn't.
Very, very tempting. Hey, I've already kept you longer than I asked for, but one last question, and that is, where do you see yourself, in the future? What are your dreams and ambitions as a runner?
Oh god, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, we have to end it at a high note.
No, that's a good one. It's a juicy one. I think just yeah, keep doing what I'm doing, chasing these big PBs, and hopefully that leads to something very special. No, like specific goals. I don't like to do that to myself. But yeah, obviously hoping for big things, especially in the marathon distance. And yeah, I think just when this is all said and done, I just want to know that I've gave it absolutely everything, but I had a bloody good time in the process. So I think that's the main thing there.
That's a perfect way to end this episode. Thank you so much, Callie, for coming on the Marathon Podcast, and good luck with everything. And I hope that you'll sleep tight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Such a cool conversation with Callie. I love having these conversations. Again, very grateful to all of you who are guesting the Marathon Podcast. I can't believe you're taking the time to just chat with me, a little boy in Norway. I guess you're not a boy when you're 33 years old, but anyways, really grateful to Callie. I definitely think that I have to go over to Flagstaff at some point and do some workouts with the guys there, or some runs, maybe just the easy runs, because I probably can't keep up with the workouts. But now that I'm coached by John, I feel like I definitely should. In the next episode of the Marathon Podcast, we're having Ryan Thompson on. He is the first Scottish runner to be on the podcast. A great guy. We had such a good conversation. We were texting after, talking about how it kind of felt like two friends just chatting. And that's exactly what I want when I have guests on. So excited for you guys to hear more about his story and his journey as well. And with that, that is the episode of the Wednesday. I am really, really happy to have you here again. Share it with a friend if you liked it. And if not, I'll talk to you in the next one. You listen to the Marathon Podcast, brought to you by Wall Studio.